Hi, my name's Kathy Millett, and this week we're looking at how to add static grass if you've already done it once and you've got better, or new products have come out.
So this week I thought we'd look at some exotic grass. We've done the US, we've done the UK, we look at tufts. And what I wanted to look at was that deeper, sort of more interesting grass, one with loads of textures. So this one have all come from South Africa. I went there for a friend's wedding in 2013. It was February, so middle of their summer, and absolutely gorgeous grass, as you can see, loads of different textures, loads of different colours. Everything from brown to vivid green to grey, unusual colour for grass.
So what do you need this week? Well, you need grass. Now the first thing I'm going to do is put down a 2mm base coat, and I'm using WWWS static grass for this. You can use any grass that you like, but I find they have a nice range of colours. So I'm going to use a 2mm and then a 6mm, and actually I've gone back and reworked it a number of times with different colours to get it to tie in with the rest of my layout, and that's the key. Whatever you're doing, it has to tie in, and we're going over these areas because they don't quite fit anymore. So for the glue, I use a layering spray by WWS. This is lovely, it's great. Now I have done it with other types of glue, spray glues, and I found they left little balls, and it bugs me, especially on close-ups on photos. And I struggle to get the grass to stay upright because there's no current going through. This layering spray works really well. It's acrylic base, it's got very few solvents. I don't notice any smell off it at all, so it's great. Sprays out of the can, perfect. Does a really good job. So I did a lot of my static grass with Woodland Scenics when I first had it, and yeah, it's a bit sludgy, if I'm honest. If I look at it now, it's just not the colour that I want. And I've done other areas with brighter later grass, such as WWS Pico grass, and I want to make sure they all look similar, because although you can have patchy grass, it's odd if it's not, how can I put it, at least toned the same around your layout. So what I'm going to do is take a patch where I'd already covered it with a Woodland Scenics Light or something like that, and there might be a bit of knock thrown in. There's generally a mix, and over the time it's gone a bit dusty and it just looks boring, really boring. So the first thing I'm going to do is move the buildings out the way that I can. So that's one building moving, and this area is not finished yet, and what it has got is a little hollow. So I've always wanted that hollow to have different grass in it, and I've just not done it. So I'm going to use 3 colours to match the rest of my layout. So the colours I've got are WWS, which is Pico, 2mm Spring, 4mm Summer, and 6mm Spring. Now I've also got some that I hoovered off when I've done it previously, and it's kind of gone a bit clumpy because it was a little bit gluey when I hoovered it. Just the layering spray, so it's not amazingly well set, but I'm just going to put that on now in a couple of places just to add a few just clumps of just height where it's sort of little balls. And you could use Woodland Scenics little bushes for this actually. They're quite useful and they do a similar type of job, and it just puts some hummocks in because, you know, grass is not deadly smooth. Now I already had some, because this is quite solid little clumps of glued, and I always hoover up my grass and I always reuse it, and sometimes it's just a bit too gluey, and this is a really good use for it. So there we go, a few little jumps on. The next stage is to take some WWS layering spray. Now you might want to protect whatever you've got behind with some newspaper so you don't spray all over it. And the same for what's in front. Unfortunately, this is on a curve, so it's quite hard. So, yeah, note to self, next time, put the first coat on before you do this. So, yeah, put your first layer of layering spray on first before you do this next time. So, nice coat of layering spray. So I'm just putting 2mm spring grass into my hopper. It's very bright, very nice. And This is a micro applicator by Pico. It's a WWS product and it works very well, and it's smaller than the Nock one, which was causing me problems. So I'm just going to put a bit on, not a huge amount, but just to give a bit more depth to this area, which is looking just a little bit boring. So there we go. So empty that out. I didn't put a lot in, to be honest, and put in my next depth, which is 4mm summer. So this time I'm going to put my layering spray into little splurges rather than soaking the whole area. Turn my applicator on, put on some of that 6mm summer. Okay, you can see it's building up, and I want to make sure I sort of build it up in those areas. So now I'm going to put 6mm spring into my hopper. Once again with the layering spray, but this time just in the bottom there. And there we go. It took a couple of minutes and I have an amazing section of grass. Now to do the rest of my layout. So here we are, the final result. As you can see, there's a lot of depth to it. There's a little bit of movement with those clumps. What I like about this technique is you can go back and rework sections you've already done, and it only adds to it. The other thing that I like is it's very easy to do. This only took a few minutes, and that just means when you've got a big layout or you've got a lot to do, it's a really winning technique. And that green does set off my buildings.
So, this is the city. Well, I'm going to be right at home here by the time she's got all the people in and the cars, and there's going to be a bar for me to go to. There, obviously, I'll be very restrained at the bar. And then there's going to be offices and a textile factory, and there's going to be maybe a Chinese takeout. That'd be fun. There's a couple of diners and a couple of garages. I'm not sure she's going to squeeze them all in, to be honest. It's quite a lot to get in here. And there's a bikini car wash. Yeah, I'm not one of the girls in the bikini being, chased by the little boy. Certainly not the one that's lost her top. But I have to say, they're quite a nice bunch. They're a bit frozen sometimes, a little bit, rigid and whatever. But you can talk to them occasionally, as long as you don't mind it being a bit of a one-sided conversation. It's a bit of fun, when it gets hot in the summer, it gets very hot up here. It'd be lovely to have a bit of water flying around. So I might go and sort of spend a bit of time with them then, because, that'd be fun. So here we are, city section. Going to be fun, isn't it? It's going to be really good. I mean, that elevator bit there, that came off her old layout. So the whole city's been kind of done around there. And then behind it, there's a huge, ditch, channel, I guess is the word we're looking for, where embankment, no, cutting, that'd be the word, where the trains come up from the storage lower level, which is the rest of the world, and they come up and go round into this section here. So you can hear them, but you can't see them, and they're quite, they're quite fun. They're just a pain to get to once you derails them. They're just, what can I say, a long reach. But anyway, I'm waiting for her to do all this. She keeps changing her mind. She just changed her mind about the back. She was going to have this huge kind of ends of roads and all this sort of stuff, and now she's gone for these big office blocks, and I don't know. Time will tell whether we're happy with it or not, but for now they're mocked up and in, so it gives you an idea of what it looks like at least. Bit of fun, bit of a look around. So, hey, there we go.